not feed him after midnight. Do not get him wet. And above all else, sunlight will kill him. You are now the keeper of the end of the human race.
What a hunk! Gremlins! The classic 1984 comedy horror movie directed by Joe Dante and produced by Amblin, that's Steven Spielberg's production company. I remember watching the first Gremlins movie a lot as a kid. It scared me at some parts, but I was also hypnotized by how cute Gizmo was. I wanted a Mogwai! Sure, I would probably fuck it up like Billy Peltzer did, causing a gremlin apocalypse and ending all human life as we know it on this earth. But I didn't care about any of that. I just wanted to watch TV with Gizmo. Jump to the year 1990 and we finally get a sequel to Gremlins, Gremlins 2: The New Batch, which was in development hell for that entire 6 years. And of course, video game adaptations would be developed for the NES and the Game Boy. And they were both developed by Sunsoft, and as we all know, Sunsoft had a pretty damn good track record back in the day. But the one I played the most is the Game Boy version, and that's the game we're gonna play today. You play as Gizmo, following the events of the first movie where Mr. Wing dies due to health complications and Gizmo is kidnapped and taken to the Clamp building. And it just so happens that Billy Peltzer, our protagonist from the first movie, is working at the Clamp building. Billy realizes that Gizmo is being held and tested on in the genetics lab within the building. He rescues Gizmo and stashes him in his file cabinet so we can go get him later, and he tells Gizmo to stay there, but Gizmo does not listen for whatever reason, and wacky gremlin hijinks ensues. The game is separated into 4 levels within the Clamp building, each level featuring a boss at the end, which is one of the mutated gremlins from the genetics lab. The first stage is a small taste of what's to come. Environmental obstacles consist of pitfalls, spikes, springboards, and conveyor belts. And the enemies range from other gremlins, mice, and worst of all, bats! In levels, Gizmo can't attack whatsoever unless you find the pencil item. This is your main melee attack that you'll be using throughout the rest of the game, though you have to find it in every level, and it's usually at the beginning of the level, not somewhere difficult to find. Other power-ups that you'll find include small hearts and big hearts. Small hearts yield 1 HP while big hearts heal you 100%. And I'm not 100% sure, but I think finding the big heart in each level will unlock a bonus stage in between levels, which I'll get to in a second. There's also cassette radios that you can find that allow Gizmo to throw down a fat beat, which will one-shot any normal enemy. Oh yeah, there's another thing. The manual mentions something about the musical note also gives you other hidden but useful effects. The fuck does that mean? And our final power-up is the toolbox. This one works like the star in Mario. But whereas the star has a time limit, the toolbox has 5 charges, meaning you'll be invincible forever until you kill 5 enemies or get hit by one of the spikes, which automatically knocks you out of the toolbox. The first level's boss is Mohawk. This is definitely the easiest boss, which is rightfully so because it's the first stage, but he throws tomatoes at you, and I'm not sure if he's supposed to be the veggie mutant gremlin. I can't remember if that was Mohawk who turned into that. I don't know. And just like Mega Man, every boss has their own set pattern, so once you figure that out, it's kind of a breeze to get through the rest of them. Now, once the boss is defeated, if you found the big heart in the level previous, you will unlock a bonus stage, which is basically a punching bag minigame. You have 10 seconds to punch the bag 100 times, and if you do, you get 1 up. And the manual doesn't tell you at all, but it tells you about some fucking weird-ass voodoo hidden powers that you can get by using a cassette radio. The second level boss is the Bat Gremlin. In the movie, the Bat Gremlin is injected with some weird sunblock elixir which allows him to go outside into the sunlight without dying. Because as we all know, gremlins don't like bright lights, especially the sunlight, or it'll fucking kill them. But the funny thing is, Gizmo doesn't kill any of these gremlins except for one that you fight in this game, in the movie. The person that kills the Bat Gremlin in the movie is actually Murray Futterman. It's Billy Peltzer's neighbor from the first movie. Yeah, of course I know, it's a video game on the Game Boy from 1990. Anyway, level 3's boss is the Lightning Gremlin, and this one I found to be the most difficult because, I don't know, his pattern is just really erratic. Once you do figure out the pattern though, he's pretty easy. You just gotta hit him when he stops zapping around. And at last, we reach the final boss at stage 4, which is the Spider Gremlin. And this is the only fight in the game where you get to use Gizmo's famous flame bow thing that he makes out of a paper clip. In this fight, you have to purposely get stuck onto the spider's web, which lifts you up and down. From the top, you'll shoot your fire arrow at the gremlin to do damage. And it's good to have a full health bar with this fight because you're constantly getting hit by little tiny spiders, which you cannot avoid whatsoever. Anyway, that's the last boss, and we get one final cutscene, which is Billy Peltzer, Kate, and Gizmo reuniting, and they just go home. That's literally the fucking ending. I hope they never reboot or remake Gremlins, ever. I don't want another movie. I want these two to be what they are. They are perfect, more or less. But you know what? If they do make a remake or a reboot, you know what they're gonna call it? Mogwai. No, they'll probably just call it The Gremlin or something stupid like that. Though a short game, Gremlins 2: The New Batch on the Game Boy, I really like it. The difficulty is something that is super satisfying. Like I said, it's the perfect medium between Mega Man and Mario. It's a game from the 90s. It's all about patterns, so just keep that in mind if you want to play it. Also, since this game is a Sunsoft game, the soundtrack for it is so good. I mean, just here's a little clip right here. Just listen to this. Shit fucking slaps! I am a little bit disappointed that I didn't get to see a pixelized version of Robert Picardo. He was in Star Trek Voyager as the EMH, which is funny because Zach Galligan, the guy who plays Billy Peltzer in this movie, was in an episode of Star Trek Voyager with Robert Picardo. So that's really cool. I know none of you give two shits about any of that, but I think it's cool. Also, be sure to give this video a like if you enjoyed it, or if you like Gremlins or Gizmo. And be sure to subscribe to the channel because I do content like this every week, so there's always something to watch. Go check me out on social media. Links are down below in the video description. I will see you guys next time in the Nerd Lair. Stay nostalgic!